of two halves of the same coin. It's sort of the hardware and the software side of what can a user, and in their particular account, what can they do? Okay, so here we go. Let's have a think about this. Let's come back here. So I'm thinking about assigning rights. Okay, let's think about peripherals first. Peripherals. I don't know what you think of when you hear the word peripherals. Maybe the first place you heard about this word is with technology. But for me, I think I used to get taught a lot by my mum when I was younger and I was learning to cross the street and that kind of thing. She'd yell at me and she'd say, "You got no peripheral vision! Watch out, lah!" You know, so she would say, what does that mean, by the way? That I can't see very much towards the sides, okay? And actually that's true. When you're younger, your vision is just more focused towards the center. I'm not sure why that is. Because little kids, it seems, would really benefit from peripheral vision, but anyway. So peripheral, as opposed to, what would be the opposite adjective to peripheral? Not off at the sides. I guess you'd say it's straightforward, or central maybe? And I think probably this is a good choice because another place that you see this word used is in the body and describing its nervous system. Does anyone remember this from like, I don't know, year 8, year 9 biology, okay? You've got the central nervous system, which is made up of, does anyone know? It's okay, you're correct. More specifically, the nerves in the spine, right? So that's your central nervous system. And then you've got your peripheral nervous system, which is all of your sensations and that kind of thing, your arms and legs, etc., etc. Okay? So central means it's in the middle, and peripheral means it's off on the side. Okay? So when you're thinking about this and a network, peripherals mean stuff like what you mentioned yesterday. Stuff like printers, modems, file servers, as in, you know, the hard drives that are associated with those. Okay? So all of these are peripherals. Who can access them? And who can do different things to them? Okay, so for instance, let's think about printers. Okay, a good example, often on a network, right? You may be able to access a printer, but what does accessing that printer actually include? Well, I assume that means you can print to it, right? Fingers crossed, otherwise your access is not very useful. But there are other things you can do with a printer, okay? For instance, there's not just printing, but there's also cancelling jobs. Okay? There's also the disabling of a printer. So, for instance, if I'm the administrator, and I can see someone is, you know, printing out hundreds of pages of color things, and it was just by accident. Like someone was impatient, and they pressed OK like 50 times while they were waiting for it, right? Because they just thought it was lag. So I want the ability, as the administrator, to be able to just shut down the printer and stop everyone's printing jobs from going, just like that, okay? But I don't want everyone to have this kind of access, right? Because that would be rather chaotic, right? Where's my print job, okay? So, you've got different levels of access for different kinds of peripherals. Printers is just one example. What about modems? What kinds of different things would you expect to be able to do with a modem? You probably want to download stuff off it. If you're going to want to download stuff, you want to be able to tell the internet server you're accessing what you want to download, so that implies you have to be able to upload things. Okay? That seems pretty base level. What else might you, as someone who, say, is running the network, as the administrator, what power might what you want over the modem that you, say, don't want everyone else to have? Any thoughts? Changing things like, say, proxy settings? You might want your modem to only access the network through a particular proxy, which is exactly what the school does. We actually have access, I think TPG is who provides our internet connection. Okay, but we have our modem set not to direct to TPG servers all the time, but to go through the Department of Education's proxy. Okay, what else? Anything else? Yeah.
Limiting downloads.
Ah, good. So we don't just want people to be able to download whatever they want. We want to say put some restrictions, bandwidth restrictions, for instance. Bandwidth restrictions. Perhaps you don't just want anyone walking along to be able to access your network if it's wireless, right? So, sorry, your modem if it's wireless. So you might want to enforce things like passwords. And you don't want just anyone to be able to walk along and change the password of your modem, okay? So all of these are examples of different kinds of access levels you can assign to different peripherals. And then of this list, we could say some people have access to this and to this, but not to this. Or any kind of combination you like, okay? So as for assigning rights, this is for the hardware side, okay?